Big day here at Tweet Street. Big day for us here. It's official opening day of the day. Can't wait. Can't wait. It's official opening day, Tweet Street. Wee bit shaky and that, wee bit nervous. Got some special guests coming along. So it's opening night at Tweet Street, occupied Scotland. I'm bringing it. I've got Its Majesty appearing, and they tell me I need to wear a suit, dress up for the occasion, you know, but tracksuit, this is the best I can do, I'm afraid. Got all the branding. No, I'm waving sitting right for this fucking arsehole come. There we go. Hope I'm looking dapper. You know what I mean? So all the branding's already there. Just need to get the wee ribbon in that for the official opening. Wish me luck. Its Majesty has arrived for the grand opening of Tweet Street. Oh. I now officially declare Tweet Street, occupied Scotland, open. Hello, welcome to Tweet Street Scotland, occupied. My guests this evening are Alfie Phantom Power. Al.
Hi there, how you doing?
And Norrie Hunter from Caledon Radio, Caledon Media. Hi Norrie, how you doing?
No bad, Peter. How you doing?
Oh, I'm absolutely excellent.
Good lad.
Right, so I'm going to do a wee piece, just a wee bit about what this podcast and blog is all about. It's the brainchild of really finding your voice again. And Scotland is finding its voice as a nation. It deserves to be an independent nation, if you ask me. And I just want to kind of go through. Tweet Street was put together as an idea that I generated off the back of looking at my guests this evening, Phantom Power and Norrie Hunter's work, and listening to Norrie's work, Norrie's radio station. And it kind of inspired me to put myself out there a wee bit and put a face to my Twitter profile. And hopefully satirise the news that we're not really getting. Now, what the guys on the panel won't see at the minute is the show will be cut together and there'll be some comedy satire sketches plotted through the chat that we're going to be having, and that'll be done and uploaded onto the YouTube channel, hopefully by 9 o'clock every Sunday evening, depending on recordings, etc. But that's we've got plans for next week's show and the week after, and hopefully it will generate people to an interest and get in touch and give some ideas and tell us what you would like to see, and hopefully we can care for that as well. My co-host JB Whitesnake, I know that it was advertised he was going to be here, but a personal issue, but he's not able to make in the call this evening, but he may feature on future calls. Just to touch on the situation as far as the pandemic, we're in lockdown. I'm trying to use the tools, all free tools, everything that I've done that's not costing me a penny. It's everything. I've got a data plan and I'm not afraid to use it, basically. So everything that you'll see and everything's been done has just been things that have been lying on about the house and just to be used for comedy effect. But the one thing that I'm serious about is the amount of people that have succumbed to the coronavirus in the UK is absolutely ridiculous, and it's not something that can be satirised or joked about, and we need to be kind of a serious and reflect on that. And I hope everybody's kind of okay with me passing that message off. So the reason Alfie Phantom Power and Norrie were the first guests, say I was inspired by Al's work, his videos, There's so many different independence thinking organisations, or not even organisations, voluntary. It's a lot of voluntary organisations putting their time in themselves for their own free will and what have you. And there's come up all over the place. So I was inspired by Al's work, video work, really hit the spot with me. And Norrie's radio station was looking at it from a Scottish perspective and not for the unionist perspective that you get on the mainstream. So that's why I asked you guys to take that, and I was cock a hook when you agreed. So that's my journey to start at Queen Street. So I'm going to ask you, mate, what was your journey to where you were at now?
Which one, Peter? Who are you asking first?
Al for Phantom Power.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Peter. I think,
Somebody just saying that's Mitchell's question just finished on the beginning of the week there. Sorry. Sorry,
yeah. No, I'm really pleased to be in the show, first of all. I think it's great just to see people, try to embrace the media and what you can do now. Basically, you've got access to a whole studio, a potentially limitless audience, and good luck with the show, and hope we build it up.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I started out, I kind of media background, and then I got involved in the campaign in 2012, and I kind of got sucked in, and now I do it, it's not full time, but I'd spend quite a lot of time in it, and it's obviously 7 years, so 9 years later since I started. But it's really just about producing, the best quality video content I can, educating people, doing a bit of media monitoring. So it's going fairly well. I've averaged roughly about 500,000 views on Twitter and stuff like that for my videos a week. And then I've also got like a small army of people who put stuff out via TikTok and Facebook and stuff like that, because I just can't deal with all that, and I'm quite happy for people to share this stuff. It's not, I'm not really precious about sharing it myself, but so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, and at the moment I'm just trying to really look at media education and doing a series on to help people understand, the British media a bit more in terms of ownership, and also looking at maybe some other countries and how their systems of media are set up. They're very different. You've got places like Finland, where they're in Norway, where they've got laws and strategies to make the media a lot more balanced, a lot more open, a lot more transparent, and deal with issues like ownership and stuff like that. And so, and then I'm doing that, and I've got my Europe film coming out, which I've been updating constantly. It's about Brexit. It's a kind of big piece. And I've also got another couple of projects I'm hoping to get finished, but it's been very difficult, obviously, not being able to get out filming with the pandemic. It's just really been a really difficult year, and so that's kind of where I'm at just now. But thanks, I really appreciate the comments.
Thanks.
And you've got people like and then you've got obviously it's great. Norrie's here as well, and he's done this, been a big pioneer of he's worked the Independence Live, and now he's doing his Caledon radio thing, which is superb. So there's all these amazing little, well, not little projects, but amazing projects that have got huge potential. It's such a difference, from 2012, when we were completely dominated by, the big kind of monolithic media outlets, and it's just so good. I love to see everybody getting involved. It's so refreshing, and I hope it goes well.
I now officially declare Tweed Street Occupied Scotland open. Andrew, leave the corgis alone. Go and play in the nursery for 10 minutes then, okay.
Well, that's the one thing that I've certainly noticed, Al, with regards to the independence movement, how it was reported in 2014, the lead up to the referendum in 2014. I think a lot of people have learnt from that, and they're trying to write, well, how do we counter that? How do we stand a fighting chance here against this empirical mammoth, so to speak? And everything, any wee bit that I can do, any wee bit that I see you doing, it's inspiring other people as well. You see, you get a load of hits in your videos. Norrie's radio station is starting to take off. He's getting a lot of good comments, and I'm going to ask Norrie now if he's got any questions that he would like to ask you. From that point of view, what Al's just shared with us. Before I ask you how you go, where you are, Norrie.
Well, I started really 2013. I knew fine it would be a pivotal moment in Scottish history with the referendum. And at that point, I knew there was going to be a bias against independence per se, and the SNP, and anyone who thought independence was a good thing. Just because, as Al alluded to there, it's about the mainstream media and how powerful that system is. And then I started working with the BBC. I managed to get a job there, and it kind of opened my eyes at that point to what was actually going on. I was there for 2.5 years. I got out because I just couldn't work there anymore. It was that bad. And then I started doing small things, writing for different journals, and then working for South Lanarkshire Radio. But they weren't keen on doing politics, so I had to leave there. And then I came up with the idea of doing an independence kind of radio station, although India Live set up, but I really wasn't happy with that because it was so inward looking. And then I just came out of that. And then I started Caledon Radio. And what we did was we went to golf clubs, bowling clubs, cafes, Marks and Spencer's cafes, where we knew a certain type of person was a kind of middle-class Tory would be. And we got them. And we asked them questions about the radio station name, and nobody thought it was political. So we knew fine from then that was a good start. And then we tried to put in an unbiased, we didn't want to scare away no voters, Tories, Liberal Democrats, anyone from the station. We wanted to include everybody. And so far, it's worked because people are coming to us from places we never expected. We've got guys that are voted Brexit, listening to really they've heard either me or one of the guests come on. Could have been you, Peter. Could have been anyone. Changed their mind like that. We've been really, really lucky. I say that in that COVID has got most people at home. They can access us through an app or their PC. So we're getting more and more online content. We don't really care about numbers. We know we're getting really good numbers listening to us. Do we count them? No. Do we keep an eye on them? Aye, just to see where they are. But most important of all, it's our message that we're putting out. And the message is always a positive one about Scotland. And even, I don't think that the hardened no voters and the Brexit people could accuse us of being anything but positive. And it kind of wears off on people after a while. And one of the other things we found was when you play somebody's favourite music alongside a chunk of heavy news, it softens it, but it stays in their head. And we found this was a really good method of getting the message, but getting it to stick. Yeah. And getting it to put out. So there we are. We've got, we do a Christian show on a Sunday, which gets a lot of, believe it or not, it's one of our better programs because a lot of Tories go to church and listen to us. We do a sports show.
Is there sins by any chance?
Aye. Well, we've got a sports show and we've got a comedy show. It's very difficult. We've got my show that goes through every day. Money, time, everyone's against us, but we do what we can, and we're getting listeners from Canada, we're at Sacramento, New Jersey, Wisconsin, New York, Carolina, Dublin, Croatia, Copenhagen, all over the world, listening to our radio station because they're interested as well. I mean, when we put out something, just to let you know, if we put out a story about free period products, let me tell you, it reverberates around the globe about what happens and how good Scotland is. And we had a Danish businesswoman on the chatting about Danish politics, because it's the same size as Scotland, same kind of population, but hasn't got as near how much resources we've got. And she was going, we were mad, you know. We're not. You should. What was it? Her words were, you should get yoke yourself from this imperial power. Then I asked her if she would cede all Danish power to Berlin and let them have the big broad shoulders to take care of you. And she says, not a chance in hell. Why are you doing it? So it's, when you put it like that to people, it kind of wakens them up a wee bit. And I think that's one of the secrets of radio, the spoken word.
Well, I think it's absolutely great. I mean, the feedback that you gave me after appearing in your show and the feedback that I see on Twitter about your show gives me that wee bit of confidence to know that, well, we're trying here. People are trying to make a difference. Scottish people, old and new, are trying to make a difference to get Scotland independent from under the boot of Westminster. Because it's the lunatics have taken over the asylum, if you ask me. That's my opinion yet. So it's about time that the news that we're not getting gets reported in a way that will hurt them more, and that's like take the piss at them and satirise. Now, after that, I'm not apologising for swearing because we're adults here, right? But this is going to be getting broadcasting out after 9 o'clock at night. If there's anything that comes up, I'll always try to keep on these shows controlled and no abusive. But if we're in descriptive mode, and that's where what happens is they flip in, guys. It's no oh my God, we need to cut that out, right? And I know that there's going to be the potential for some of this to be going out in your radio station, Rory, so an edit will be available or made available without any profanities in it.
Aye.
But
well,
if I'm being me and I'm doing the thing that I want to be doing, then I need to speak the way that I'm comfortable speaking. I used to get paid to speak proper. I'm doing this free of charge and voluntary, and I'm speaking the way that I'm comfy speaking. So that's just how it goes.
That's fine.
That's what I hope.
That's fine.
People will see on the actual podcast itself. Well, wait a minute, they're like me, closer to my upbringing and what the Etonian upbringing that they try and sell you. Oh, hold on, it's for this, it's for that, it's for the next thing. Well, no, I'm not like you at all. Nothing like you at all. You don't have any Scotland's best interest at heart, in my opinion, and that's what it's about. It's about opinions, I suppose, isn't it?
It's about opinions. You got to be careful. We were really reticent about being talking about winners and losers, us against them. We can't stand them and they're against us. What if you take it really slowly? What we found is if you give people chunk bite sizes of information, they'll come back. It's almost like fishing for with a hook. First time you don't get it. Second time you might not get it. Third time, but fourth time you might just get something in. And we've had a guy. We'll get Professor John Robertson, who comes in, and he gives gravitas to what he's talking about. And believe it or not, people like the fact that he's a professor. Particularly Liberals and Tories, they love that academic talking about things because it gives it that just the gravitas of having a professor on. But for me, I think the best thing is to get ordinary people like yourself, Peter. Sam Payton comes on, David Wilson, all kinds of guys that have just got ordinary things to say, but wow, they can say them very clearly. And I think that resonates with people, especially now. People who have lost their businesses, lost their fortunes, having now got to sign on to universal credit when they once used to own a restaurant or a graphic design company or an architect's. They've come down the snakes on the board. They're all the way down. And now they're looking for answers.
It's hitting absolutely everybody, and this is why the mental health side of things, I've noticed that a lot of people that I didn't notice in before, and that's how the thing that I'm noticing about it.
Douglas. You little minion, you. I know you're still learning to count 1, 2, 3 at ABC, but you need to. Oh, have a sweet instead. Oh, hello.
I'm Brexit Bastard, and this is my new business, Mexican Coke cane sugar importing. I have the biggest supply to Rishi Sunak, the Jedi Coke addict. Yeah.
Al, I'm going to come back into you, mate, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Have you got anything you wanted to say to Nori off the back of what he's kind of shared?
Yeah, no, I find it quite interesting how you're tapping into the different audiences like that. I think it's pretty interesting, and trying to stay positive. It's difficult, isn't it? You're almost caught in that cycle where you're always reacting to things, and to put something out there that's positive and that people can hook on. I think it's pretty important. I tend to, you can get caught in that very, very negative cycle. It's just it's not really. It's a bit of a dead end, to be honest. But
well, you're right, Al.
I was just still going to ask, like, what the kind of challenges you sort of facing just now in terms of, you know, growing the station and the things you'd like to do. I'd be interested to hear where it's going. You know.
Mm-hmm. Great questions, Al. Well, first of all, we'd like to get more a bigger schedule with more people coming in to fill the slots. At the moment, we haven't got the money to put PCs and monitors all over the place for people. We just haven't got it. You know, it takes a lot of money to set up. Incidentally, Peter will tell you this, we broadcast from my garage because we can't get the studio because it's part of our open planned business unit. So we can't get in there for COVID reasons. So it's had to be from the garage. We'd love to get a proper studio. That's the first thing. Second, we'd love to get enough money to cover us to this time next year, because we've got an election and we've got more things after that, depending on the election. So hopefully we can get some cash just to get basic things like our broadband account paid, our website domain paid, and our PRS. That's the how we get our music, and we've got a license to play it. Those three things are really crucial to the survival of Caledon. We really want to grow the audience in Scotland. We're doing amazing in other parts of the world. It's a phenomenon. People are picking up, because it's internet radio, they can just get the app and listen in. What we found was we got an interview with somebody in Canada just to talk about, it was a historical program we're doing about clearances. When she was on, she told all her buddies, and it went all round the place. So Nova Scotia, Calgary, Vancouver, Toronto, everywhere.
It's a big
and they're all coming back. Yeah. So we kind of tapped into that, and then we got Cameron McNeish on for a show. I was interviewing Cameron, and that brought in a hell of a lot of people from a different area as well, land reform. So the Tories are quite the soft nose and the Tory voters we get are all interested in land reform, taxes, all the kind of things that we're kind of no involved. We don't care. We want independence. We don't care. And we don't care about monetary definitions. I don't care if it's the Bob E we're using when we're independent. But I've got the problem I've got, Al, with how I produce and how I project my message out is I'm always conscious that there's people out there who are not on my side, if you like. And I've got to throw out tidbits here and there. Why wouldn't you come in this? Why don't you think this is a reasonable assumption to make? Ask the question. Ask them questions about things. And we get a lot of negativity from people who should know better. But we've grown thick skin, so we'd kind of put that to one side. But in all that negativity, there's one or two nuggets from people telling us Look, for instance, I'll give you one existence. When Jack Patterson on, and somebody says, this is the first time anyone's opened the door up to a debate on independence when we had him on. Because one or two things we've discussed. The first time anyone had talked to them about independence, but not from a scary perspective, not from you're going to be losing your daughter because she stays in England, nothing like that. It was just about, well, there will be no borders. Denmark doesn't have a border with Germany. Why should we have one with England? You know, basic things like that. And people start thinking, why? So that's how we do it. But, you know, there's a big story about Douglas Ross being an absolute dick on the telly. I've got to portray it as that. I can't hide that. This guy is a nutter. If he wasn't in politics, what job would he be doing? What would he be doing? What would Andy Wells be doing if he wasn't in politics? This is the best gig they've got, and they'll do anything to keep it. And when you tell it like that, people go, oh, I didn't think that. Oh, that's interesting. You know what I mean?
I'm the Jedi co-cadet Rishi Sunak. I always wanted to be a Jedi, but I got this job instead. Real Mexican cane Coke.
I think it would be a great idea for Scotland to have its own franchise. I've got a franchise in America now. Scotland, is that like North Britain or something like that? I think it is. Well, sorry, well, Brooklyn, obviously, because he was conceived in Brooklyn. Cruise, because he was conceived in Cruise. Harper 7. Well, yeah, Victoria had harped on at me 6 times already that day, and on the 7th time I nailed her. Yeah.
And on that note, Nori, I'm going to kind of draw it down a wee bit. I've got a couple of messages I need to put out. I need to say happy 18th birthday to Finlay, who suffers from syndrome. Again, it was on Twitter, I seen that, so I said I would shout out to part of the record as a birthday message just to say happy birthday. Shout out to Homespring H2O for all your hydra needs, hydration needs, sorry. And big shout out to Caledon Radio, Caledon Media, Alec Phantom Power. There will be a skit that's getting uploaded onto the end that has got some swear words in it, so just to let you know in advance that it's all to do with Scotland and famous Scots. So I want you to identify each party and in touch with us. Try and interact with us either on Twitter at H Street Oc 1, on YouTube. You can follow us at H Street Occupied Scotland. Subscribe to the channel, like, comment, information, and also you can email us at hstreetscotland13@gmail.com. All of that will be available on the website. So I'm going to draw this first Tweet Street Occupied Scotland Zoomcast to a close now, and I'll say thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Stay where you are, guys. Stay where you are, right? Well, if you want to say thanks, I'll back on.
Thanks, guys. All the best.
Thanks very much.
Good luck with it. All the best for the show. Thanks for having me.
Cinnamon Bridges, union blindness. Some say blind they can't see. That was the union indoctrinated in me. My parents to blame, but not by neglect, because of the folk the English elect. My mental health, it bothers me. Why is my country chained up, not free? What country, you fool? No border exists. It's called the UK, you damn separatists. Don't dare swear at me, deny me no more. Union blindness is lifted, I now ken the score. I didn't swear at you. Oh aye, what you did. You said the UK, have you flipped your lid? It's my mental health that bothers me. Trying to help a real country to set itself free. A real country, you mean Scotland, but we've already told you you're shit. Aye, that'll do you. Enjoy your Brexit. I never voted for you, or I'll sit on a fence. I'm taking the country I love to her independence. Sor Alba, Scottish independence. Tweed Street, Scotland, occupied. Satirical soul tire.
We're no 7 feet tall, can't shoot bolts of lightning for your arse. If we could, we wouldn't be colonised by wankers. Nobody will be straightening our kettle. Everything will be tickety-boo when we tell them to fuck off, because we are the diamonds in the mud, Scotland.